How's it, everybody? Click here. We're back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are kicking off the second Grand Tour of the AGL trunk. Now, I told you guys I was going to do this one after our review of the trunks in our previous Grand Tour, stating that it was pretty obvious to me that he was designed around the future of what his team would look like, right? He wasn't meant to be run, obviously, on 16's team when his Switch he released, nor is he really designed to run on any of the previous teams that were available to him. They were all 170 for him. So we have a full 220, and the team works exactly how I anticipated here, right? Everyone is working to support each other in this, much like the original Hybrids team or the Omega team, or pretty much any team that's sort of released this year, right? No unit is standalone here. So everybody is working to support each other in some manner. So we're going to take a risk here. We're going to put him in slot 1 because I want to transform him. Otherwise, in normal circumstances, we'd put him in slot 3, right? But there we go. We do get the 50% chance to dodge, and we dodge the AoE. So very nice. So very, you know, we won the coin flip here, and here we kick it off with a 17 mil super, which is honestly not bad for him. Into 19 mil, right? He was starting a little bit lower on the 170, but again, you know, having the int GOHAN support him does really help a lot, and decent linkage too, right? 3 to 4 links is always sort of the go-to. There we go. All right, should be a guarantee after this one. Oh, nope, miscounted. Okay. All right, and then of course, right, there we go. And so we should be able to dodge this super. We have over 90% chance to dodge here. And we do dodge it. Very nice. Okay, so things did work out. And then Future GOHAN, obviously not as strong here in slot 1 as he normally is, but I think it's still going to be good enough, right? Because it is his turn 1, so he's still going to be good enough to tank whatever's going to be thrown at him, especially a Rose Super, right? Rose Supers early on, not as bad. So this should be decent, right? All right, there we go. And then now AGL GOHAN going to get back up. So one thing to note about the Bottom Master Disciple team, one thing that really helps out AGL Trunks is AGL GOHAN. Right? That extra 58% that he gives, right, when we can, you know, when we can activate his active skill, very helpful for the allies. Right, that really does help out his the defense for the team. There we go. All right, and then he's gonna eat that super. Excellent. There we go. So turn 1 down, no damage taken, right? So I mean, that's the thing. That is a risk there. Like, he's not gonna die he'll die to Zamos as normal, but he won't die to Rose as normal, nor will he die to the AoE. That was one of the biggest misconceptions I feel like was about him, is that he dies to those normals. It just, he legitimately doesn't. Only Zamos's, but that makes sense, right? No guard, no damage reduction, and type disadvantage. It makes sense that that's what happened. So, all right, I guess we'll keep the blues on here. I don't know if I want to. I feel like AGL GOHAN and Trunks could have been fine on. They could have been fine, I think. But it might just be to play it safe. This might be the option here. There we go. Alrighty. So, and nice thing is, next turn, right? All we got to do is get a setup where we can at least get Trunks to attack one more time, and before we die. And then we can get a, we'll be able to transform him, right? I'm not going to hold it against him if he can't transform here in the Zamos fight, because this is, I mean, it is a ridiculous fight. It is a short fight, right? We have to manage locking and a lot of other things. And, you know, a fight that's over on turn 5, obviously it makes sense that we wouldn't necessarily be able to always transform him here. But if we do get it, even better. Look at that. So now we're getting more of that support going on here. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. There we go. All right, so solid turn here. Now, no matter what happens, right, on the next turn, we have a revive up. And so we'll be able to do what we need to do here. Perfect, double digits. Very nice. Okay, on to... Oh, that's right. I put Beast on this team. Okay, I totally forgot. He's in slot 7. I completely forgot. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You know what? No, we keep Beast. Keep Beast. Okay, so we're going to take a big risk here. We're going to put Beast in slot 1. He shouldn't die to the super. If he can tank a Rose super fully built up post super, I think he can handle a slot 1. All right, but we don't have to. It's not a super. Thank goodness, right? So now next turn, we have a little bit of protection, right? And this goes to the other thing I was talking about Trunks' team, right? Right, running him on the hybrids team, we're forced to have him be the only non-use hybrid because otherwise we lower the effectiveness of the rest of the team, right? Running him on the blues team, he's got no one he can really link well with other than Vegeta and Trunks, who don't, do work with him. And as you'll see in the showcase, we do use them multiple times, but it's not as effective since he's only on the 170. But here, there's so much good. Look at that. This is his second appearance, right? We've got a lot more support, and it's 20 million he's coming out with in base. That's a lot better than what we had, right? And that's the way it should be, right? Teams support each other in this game. Dokkan this year has shown us that this is how teams operate. No one is a solo act anymore, right? Even the Blues, right? One of the best units in the game. They're not a solo act. They're only doing what they do because everybody else can pick up the damage for them in the early phases. Without that, they're just kind of there until turn 4. And even then, their damage on turn 4 isn't that big. Where their utility comes in is what they're doing for everyone else, right? With that Vegeta active or that Vegito active to cancel the dodge canceling, right? Like it's not a solo act anymore, and Trunks is no different. Obviously, yeah, AoEs are a pain for him to deal with. But I mean, it's manageable, and surprisingly, we didn't die here. Oh, here we go. Okay, actually, no, here. I was just gonna say, are we not gonna die? But no, Gohan should die here because he's dropped his D. Yeah, there we go. And now we get the awesome revive. I do love this OST. Excellent. Okay, now, perfect. Let's go ahead. All right, let's pop the Vegeta and Trunks active, right, on the Zamos, or Rose, actually. Zamos is dead. Okay, and then we're gonna swap into Goku since our Trunks is not on there. So this is gonna be tough because we might not get AGL Gohan and Trunks to transform into Gohan. Because we did just heal up, and I don't think anybody's really going to take any damage here. But again, so this is another thing I'm talking about here, right, with the AGL Trunks, right? Now that we have AGL Gohan's active up, right, he's going to get a lot better defensively. Not that it's bad. His defense, right? Transformed his defense is actually pretty good. Plus, like the high dodge chance post super, but it does help him, right? As you'll see later on, it will help him tank Broly's normals after Billion built up, and right, we do know how much Broly can build up those normals, right? So it's helpful. There we go. All right, so we might actually be able to do this here. Excellent. Yeah, because I know AGL Gohan's not going to do damage here. Like, he's not going to kill. which means, I don't know, we'll have to see how this plays out. We'll probably, so we have Beasts active, right? So depending on where that AoE is, we'll probably put Trunks in slot 1, and then go from there. There we go, and there goes the super on Gohan. Ooh. How much this is going to do? Is it double digits? I stop underestimating him. Some people make you think that he's not that good at all, but he's still pretty amazing. Alrighty, excellent. So now, right? Now we got a solid turn here, and it looks like the AoE is in slot 1, so we could be in trouble. We might need to hope and pray for a dodge here, because he would. I'm assuming, even transformed, even with the Gohan active, even with the extra support, he's going to die to this AoE. Since Rose is pretty much fully built up now. Alright, so yeah, we're just going to drop him in slot 1 then here. Grab that. Perfect. And then we'll grab the 10 here, so we'll get their support going up. And then, of course, you know, doing beat things. So at least the rest of the attacks we don't have to worry about. We do get the dodge on the AoE, and that's what mattered. Nice. But look at that. AGL, Gohan, and Trunks tanking that AoE. Pretty super built up. That's pretty awesome. All right, and then out with 29 million. So not his best starting that we've got, but still not bad. Still not bad, because remember, he's going to do 5 of those. So that's still some pretty good damage, right? That's still 120 mil APT. There we go. And we jump up to 33. Nice, yeah. So each attack actually stacks up. So if you proc those extra attacks by getting the AGL orbs, it actually looks pretty decent, right? So that's 3 attacks we just did right there. There's the 4th for 35 million. Beautiful. And we get the KO screen. Oh, I love it. There we go. That's what you want to see. Perfect. All right, so stage 1 down. Not bad at all, right? Only really in one situation were we ever really in danger, and it's mostly because we put ourselves there, right? Yeah, and that was the turn 1. Otherwise, normally we would have just floated him, and we wouldn't have had to worry about that AoE at all. Although, in retrospect, we would have had to deal with a Zamos super. But actually, I think AGL Gohan can tank Zamos' super with the Bottom Master and Disciple allies. Or, I'm sorry, Demonic Power allies on the team. So, all right. So, there goes stage 1 of this newly revamped grad tour. Like I told you, significantly better performance than we saw in our initial showcase where we used the Blues team, right? So we're going to pause and we're going to come back and we're going to jump into the Gogeta stage where we have a much freer time setting him up. Alrighty, we are here. We are loaded up in the special battle stage 4, the Gogeta stage, sort of the next hardest difficulty stage for the special battles. I haven't been really doing the Goku and Vegeta or the Omega stage. Not that they're not hard, but I mean, if you can take down these 2 stages, you can take down those 2 stages, right? That's pretty much how how I view it. And with Goku and Vegeta not really building up, well, Goku kind of does, but with the supers being scripted, it's really easy to manage. So we actually have a really nice setup here for turn 1, right? Because I don't think we're really going to be in danger. Trunks will build up enough dodge here to dodge the super with his post super dodge, so we shouldn't have to be concerned about his dodge. And then in Trunks we did get our rainbow orb, so we have a pretty good chance to dodge here with him too. So we're pretty solid this turn. We don't have much to worry about here. All right, we got a 19 mil opener. Get an additional for 20 million. Nice. And so one more, no matter whether it's a super or a normal, we do get to do a 3rd attack. There goes the super. Nope. We procced. We didn't proc the super. We procced the other chance. But there we go. We do get another super, the hypo super. So that works out. But we still did, what, 4 attacks here? Nice. Or 3 attacks, rather. Okay, but 5 attacks in total. And that is my one beef with his design. I wish they had just let him get that 1 extra attack for the 6 attacks so you just transform his 2nd appearance. That really, I think, would have changed a lot of opinions on him. I feel like I feel like being stuck in base for 2 turns minimum is kind of rough, especially in this meta. But you know, it's not the end of the world for me personally, right? As we saw in the last one, still totally usable. There we go. Okay, so now we just need to make sure Int Trunks dodges. He's nice here, right? Supporting Hybrid Saiyans for the team, so that's really helpful. And movie heroes, although it's mostly Hybrid Saiyans in this. So, okay, here we go. So we got a decent setup here. I think what we're gonna do is this, right? I'm pretty sure on this turn, with the AGL orbs, AGL Gohan and Trunks can tank that slot 2 super. They might take a little bit of damage, but they should be fine. Excellent. All right, and then we get an additional super with Gohan here. And again, I've talked about this before with this stage, right? This stage starts to get challenging around phase 3, where Gogeta just ramps up his offense. I mean, he's ramping up his offense with every super he does, and then of course ramping it up with every turn. But turn 3 is kind of where it really comes into the most difficult, right? That's where normals start becoming a problem. That's where very few units begin to be able to take a super. So this should be interesting. Not that we didn't already do this, right? So a lot of this we already did, and even showed that even on the 170, it wasn't as bad as people were saying. But even here, I like the whole point of this showcase is to show that he's even better here. Still the #1 EZA? No, of course not. Heck not. But he's significantly better than what people wanted to let on. There we go. And there goes the super. And yeah, about 290k. So what I thought, right? We'll take they took a little bit of damage there, but turn 2 it was enough to tank. Obviously, next turn that's not going to be true. So we do have to play that carefully. But of course, we will have that revive up next turn. So we just have to survive this next turn, which means Trunks has got to dodge, and don't think he should be suffering in slot 1 just yet. So we should be fine there with Vegeta and Trunks who are coming in here. There we go, and we tank that super with Gohan because turn 1. So we got Vegeta and Trunks here. So I'm pretty sure the super is still going to be in slot. I'm pretty sure it's still going to be in slots 2 and 3. So we're going to have to bank on that dodge with the AGL Trunks. And then we'll grab that with Goku. So no Vegeta active this time around. There we go. Nice little 20 million coming out with these guys here. It's actually kind of... No. Actually not a bad opener for them, right? Go. Okay, so I do like, so when for sort of medium to long events, Vegeta and Trunks for AGL Trunks actually do wonders for him, right? They do really good for helping him. There's that little extra defense that he can stack up with the defense that he's stacking with each super. Really helpful. There we go. So 20 mil here. Excellent. Get an additional super. All right, we got a normal. And another super for 22 mil. Okay, so we might be able to transform this guy after all. There we go, 23. Okay, we actually did a pretty good amount of attacks here. Nice. All right, and now we've got over 90% chance to dodge here. So we just gotta hope we don't proc that 10%. Nice. There it goes. And then now the blues do blues things. Alrighty, excellent. Ooh, you know, sometimes that delay and that dodge scares me with the blues. They never know if they're actually going to fail the 80% or not. Okay, excellent. So, made it out of that turn, so we just go ahead and play this. So, I believe Gogeta should start supering in plot 1 now. So, regardless, somebody's getting supered here, whether it's AGL, Gohan, and Trunks, or in Gohan. And we're going to revive, and that's all that matters, is that revive. There we go. And there it is. Yeah, like I thought. He's going to start super in slot 1 now. Ooh, that is a lot. That is a lot.
Your humanity's last hope. Gohan!
Alrighty, excellent. So now we have our transformation turn with our Trunks, which is what we've been building for. We'll go ahead and bring out AGL Trunks. Now, oh wow, we didn't change orbs either. Wow, that's terrible. Okay. Maybe we should have grabbed orbs with Vegeta and Trunks first and see if that helped. But it looks like it might fall. Okay, looks like it might fall here. So we've got the 2-turn support from AGL, Gohan, and Trunks there from the last turn. There we go. Okay, so we did get the AGL orbs. Oh, perfect. Okay, and then I guess we take those. All right, so this is going to be a pretty solid turn for him, actually. And hopefully Vegeta and Trunks can take this. I think they can. Ooh, double digits. Nice. They actually do really solid on this team compared to the Blues team. And that, I mean, that's a whole other point that I talked about, right? The thing with the Blues team is there's like no support going on in the team, which is fine for a lot of the main fused fighters on the teams. But like when you want to bring other units like Vegeta and Trunks, or you want to start introducing other non-fused fighter units, they tend to suffer more on those teams because the obviously the big hitters, right, they all stand alone on their own to a degree, but the characters, like other characters like these guys, really benefit from teams that have a lot of support going on in them. Excellent. Okay, and then there goes the second super. So they're just eating both supers today. Okay. Here we go. Opener with 32 million. So significantly better than our Rose opener. Still not the best we can do. We can do better. No, we can. We can do a lot better. Okay, 34 mil. Right, because like what I would really want to have is a turn where we get like if I could ever set it up, right? Have 37 million we're up to, right? That's pretty good, right? Because 5 of those, that's 150 million. More than that, actually. Go 39 million. Oh yeah. Anyways, yes. So like I'm saying, oh man, I would love to see that 40 mil break. That's okay. And then we get the guaranteed dodge here. Perfect. And then 54 on the Gohan. So yeah, like I was saying, the oh, I done lost it. Okay. Too distracted by Trunks and his awesomeness there. All right. Oh, right. Yeah. So I want to get a setup with Int Gohan and the Vegeta and Trunks active while also having the 2-turn support from AGL, Gohan, and Trunks. Yeah. Okay, so we might be in a little bit of trouble here because we can't exchange we We can't exchange the AGL Gohan and Trunks, so we might be in trouble here. But we'll have to do what we got to do here. All right, let's pop Int Trunks is active. So actually, I think I know what we do. So I think we can do enough damage here. Yeah, so if we swap back into the blues, I don't know if I want to put Vegeta in slot. I think, well, maybe he could, but dang it, we're talking about turn 6 Gogeta here. Can he tank it? I don't think he can. I don't want to risk it. I think we can do enough damage here with the blues and Trunks since it is his active skill turn, and he does have guaranteed dodge. So, and we know that the supers are in have moved to slot 1 now. So, yeah, actually we should be fine here as long as AGL Gohan and Trunks can tank the normals. But I don't think we're gonna get there. I'm pretty sure we're gonna kill with Int Trunks. There we go. There we go. Additional super. All right, yeah. Int Trunks can definitely handle this. There we go. 77 million. And that would actually be a lot more if we stayed in the Vegeta, too. But obviously, you know, for safety reasons, we can't do that. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, and we get the cool KO screen, too. I love this one. Oh, God, I love this team. So it's such a fun team. Perfect. All right, so Gogeta is down. That's round 2. No problems with the Trunks. He's looking a lot better here than he was in our other showcases, and I just love it. It's so much easier to set him up now. There's so much support going through that's helping him out, so excellent. I mean, this is the way it should be, and this is what I've been saying with him here. So, all right, we're going to pause, and we're going to come back in the Tamagami 3 stage. All right, so we are loaded here into the Tamagami 3 stage. Now, we've had to switch up the team to run double blues, and so that puts Trunks back on a 170. But I think there's enough support between the two Gohan and Trunkses that we should be okay here. Again, the reason why is simply due to the boss mechanics. This is not Trunks' fault. This is simply to this being a ridiculously stupid, toxic boss, right? It's just what he is, right? He's designed to counter even the blues, although they still do pretty good in this fight. But, right, he's designed to pretty much lock out any team that isn't Omega or the AGL Gogeta 4, because even the blues, right, the blues aren't dealing with this fight without Gogeta. So that's kind of what we're running here, is sort of a mix of Bond of Master and Disciple, and, or rather a mix of Future Saga and GT Heroes. We have enough GT Heroes to proc Gogeta's full passive, as well as enough of the characters here that Trunks should be supported enough to at least do decent. Again, I don't like this team for him, but it is kind of the only setup you can utilize to get him to get through the fight here against the Tamagamis, and it's just natural. This is not a good fight for Trunks due to the dodge canceling and the ceiling. It's just not good, and that's okay. I know that's a crazy thing to say. A lot of people won't accept that, but it's okay if he has a bad matchup. Yeah, I promise. All right. The helpful thing about the blues in this fight, I will say, is on their 12 key. The more of their 12 keys we get, the more we the more we drop that attack, which makes Tamagami a little more useful, or not useful, but a little easier to deal with. Okay, so who got sealed here? The 4s. I don't like that, because their counter does help a lot here. Alrighty, let's do that. Okay, so at least we'll get some big damage out out of Gogeta, AGL Gogeta 4, which is actually helpful. So many times I've done that, and he's the one who gets sealed, and thereby is the one that we have to let get stunned. But actually, for once, we don't have that, right? So we can let the we can let Gogeta 4 do his thing here. Oh, actually, I lied. We don't have enough GT heroes here to activate his passive. He needs 2, but all we have is him and a link partner, which is not enough to get his entrance passive. But that's fine, honestly. Like, as you can see, Tamagami's HP is so low that we can deal with Gogeta not having his entrance passive. For me, it was more important to buff up Trunks in this case, since we're focusing on him, which is fine. But again, that's also the main thing I'm talking about here, right? Is that right? He basically is the same. In Gohan, if we want to make sure he's up, right, has the same passive as entrance passive as Gogeta, needing 2 other Bond Master Disciple allies. So yeah, we kind of did what we had to do. Plus, I wanted the added support for Trunks, so having both Int and AGL here is very helpful. But yeah, this is tough. I'm not. Of course, we can't either. Okay, so we got a double AoE here. So this could potentially be dangerous. Of course, the blues, regardless, we're gonna have to chuck them in slot 1. We're gonna have to pray that we get through this. This is a turn 3, and Trunks is showing up already. So we're probably not gonna transform him here. More than likely, he showed up slot. Oh wow, he tanked the AOE. Oh, okay, so that attack lowering did help. There we go. 250 on the blues. Nice. Yeah, that attack lowering helped a lot. Okay, how about the second one though? Ooh, significantly more. Okay, yeah, I mean, so like I said, right, I think the last time we did this, we actually did get to set up Trunks on this fight, but, I mean, is what it is. Again, I said it before in the first one, I'll say it again now, this is a bad matchup for him. And he got slot 7, and unfortunately this is an attempt limit stage. Wow, we actually didn't proc that third normal, therefore we don't proc the rest of the supers. So, really just a bad RNG turn for him altogether, right? There's just no good, and again, that's not it's not the end of the world. It's gonna happen. We're gonna have turns like this. We're gonna have showcases like this, where it's not always the best scenario for him. And honestly, I think it's kind of good to show what happens if he shows up on turn 3, where Tamagami is quite built up here. Now, obviously, we would have been a lot safer if AGL Gohan was able to have been transformed, but that didn't happen. We might not even revive here because, right? I think we're going to do... Actually, I don't think we're going to get to the next phase. But in case we do, at least we'll have the Future Saga buff for everybody else. Because I'm going to put... since we're below the 50%, I'm going to put Fizz Gogeta in front. And he's going to counter. Even though he didn't do that much damage, it's still more damage than we could potentially... it's still more damage, right? That we can use in our favor here. There we go. All right, and let's pop that. Okay, go. Okay. I wasn't anticipating that. I was expecting to leave him with a little HP, but all right, well, we'll take that then. All right, good job, Gogeta. Okay, but like I said, it was kind of expected that we were only going to get the 1 turn out of the Trunks there, since he showed up in slot 7, and he will show up in slot 7 sometimes, and that's just is what it is. Had I had more attempts of it here, we would probably try again, but this I am recording this after having done my other Grand Tours for a couple other units, and so this was one of the last attempts, and I need to save the last couple attempts for other showcases, so I don't want to necessarily burn them all here. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not the greatest. It's not going to be the best showing we have, but it is a showing that shows, like, stuff can go wrong. And even when it does, right, there's enough help on the teams that he's on that it's manageable, right? Again, had we actually had Gohan's revive up, we would have been completely safe that turn. But I mean, we still were. So All right, we're going to pause. We're going to come back in the giant form clash stage. All right, we are loaded up here in the giant form stage. I gotta say that, right, for this fourth round here, this is one of my favorite difficult fights this year, right? And it is a difficult fight. I don't care what anybody says, right? There's a lot happening in this, right? We're talking about, 1.2 million normals on the first turn. We're talking about a 4 million super from Bardock, especially. Um, especially on, as he gets built up as you attack, right? Like things are just dangerous. It tests so much of your knowledge about how the game is played, right? It just really, it's so good. It's such a great fight. Wow, so you see exactly what I'm talking about. Look, even Gohan's taking damage here. But we did get Trunks turn 1, so we get a lot of free. This is another fight where we get a lot of free setup for him, that I do like, right? Because we don't have to worry about locking. We do have to worry about sealing, but I mean, sealing isn't the end of the world for him in this fight because he builds up to his transformation, um, pretty easily here because it doesn't matter if he supers or not. He has to do the attacks. But what I mean about this fight testing knowledge of the game, right? It also tests your ability to read, right? You have to know what each of these bosses is doing because every giant ape is doing something different that you need to contend with. So you'll notice here we're attacking Fasha first, and that is because she is the one creating those bombs that keep that keep damaging us. Now, I always recommend when going for this one, you go for Fasha or you go for Tora first. Because Tora's the AGL one. Look at that, 23 million. This is actually a really good turn 1 for him. Holy crap. Nice. You want to get another one while we're here? Yeah, there we go. 24 mil. And then free build up on Bardock. Hooray! All right, and yeah, so there's Tora. We should dodge. Yes, we do. Very nice. Yeah, perfect. And there goes another super. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if he doesn't dodge these supers, right, that's a death sentence, right? Tora's super, I think, like, what is this? This is a 3.5 million super, and he's the one sealing us. So we do want to make, now that Fascia's down, we do want to make sure that we start attacking Tora. Of course, AGL Kid Gohan's the one. Another thing that really, so AGL Kid Gohan's another, I'm never gonna stop singing this guy's praise. He's just that good. But being that you're gonna take so much damage from the bombs themselves, you can easily get his active turn 2, and then now we've got a lot of extra defense and guard, so that's very helpful. So I'm actually going to keep, yeah, we're gonna target Tora. I'm gonna keep AGL Gohan on here. Okay, so I think that's going to be the better play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to float the Trunks. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to float the Gohan in Trunks on the next turn as well. So there we go. Yeah, so now Tora, right, we're starting to build 20% up to 100% on each attack we do. So if he supers somebody here before we finish attacking, we could be potentially in a lot of trouble, especially if that super is on. Nice. Okay, thank goodness that was post super. Yeah, especially if that super is on someone else, like Gohan. Like if that super is on AGL Gohan, that's bad. And there it is. 250 mil. Ouch. Yeah, and he's sealed too. So if he wasn't sealed, it would have been fine, but it's the fact that he got sealed. That's where the issue lies. $17 million. Nice. Excellent. All right, and we get one more. Okay, so not quite taking down Tora, which does worry me. I don't think so. I think everybody's supered already. Perfect. Okay, and so now if anything goes wrong, of course the blues get sealed. If anything goes wrong now, we can revive, but I don't think we're gonna have, unless Borgos there supers in slot 3. I don't think anybody's dying this turn either. But here we go. So we'll get a third turn here, second turn here with Trunks. And we'll just continue to focus down. There goes. Okay, there goes Tugesh. There goes Borgos. Okay, never mind. So we don't actually have to worry. I don't think we're dying this turn. There we go. Really? 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 Every time the Blues. Every time. Okay, at least we're live. I was going to be really mad if we revived before Trunks could attack, but okay, here we go. Alright. Tora still not down yet, but I think I think between Trunks and Gohan, he should be done. Ugh. Okay, and here goes the super from Bardock. We do get the dodge, very nice. Excellent. And then alright, let's get that super, and then now we don't have to worry about sealing anymore. Boom, there he goes. Alright, and then now we're gonna start beating up Bardock. All right, we get an additional super. Very nice. All right, so as you can see, even at base here, right, like he's not that far off damage-wise of most of the rest of the team. So he's honestly, he's honestly doing pretty good here. Okay, so I think we do this. And I think we'll leave Trunks on for this one. And we'll send off AGL Gohan. We don't really need him anymore. Right, he doesn't take a super here, though, because we don't have his active up anymore. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Actually, if he does take a super, that's actually good. If he does take a super, because then we will revive. All right, we get an additional super with Gohan. And there goes Bardock, and I'm pretty sure that's going to drop Gohan. Yep, oh yeah, that dropped a lot.
Trunks, your humanity's last hope.
Gohan!
I am never going to get tired of hearing that OST. Excellent. Okay, so now we can also exchange the AGL Gohan and Trunks. So we actually got a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and bring him out. Perfect. So let's transform Trunks. What? And then, there we go. And let's do that. So another thing, so these guys can be debuffed, right? And in case you didn't notice. So Trunks actually really benefits from them being buffed, obviously. Okay, so AGL Gohan should be able to eat the super from Borgos there, right? We can see that. There is a super here. So with the buff from Vegeta and Trunks, he should be able to eat it. So we're going to put him in slot 1. Oh, yeah, we're good. And then we'll send off Vegeta and Trunks here. Or Vegeta and Goku, rather. Double digits, you'll have to see it. Okay, so we're going to continue taking down Bardock. There we go, 100 mil. Very nice. All right, and 80 mil in the second one, so pretty good. 290 mil on the second one. So what is that? That's almost 300 mil we did total. That's pretty good. Like 270. Awesome. All right, and now we're going to set up all over there. 40 mil. I knew we could do it. I knew we could have a good turn where we actually break the 40 mil mark on the opener. Very nice. There we go. We get an additional for 43 mil. I wonder if we can break 50. I wonder if we can get a turn where we break 50. Excellent. 46 mil. All right, additional super for 49. Oh, no, I think that's the last one, right? Yeah, I don't think we're going to break. I don't think we're going to break 50 here. Oh, we did it. We broke 50. Yes. Awesome. Oh, it would have been nice to get that KO screen. Ah, he just barely lived. That was so close. All right. Well, Vegeta and Trunks get it. Okay. Well, I like how I keep saying Vegeta Trunks. It's not the active is Vegeta Trunks. They are just Goku and Vegeta. Okay, very good. Alrighty, so there we go. Stage 4 of this Grand Tour down with the Giant Form class. Like I said, this is one of my more favorite difficult fights because it's not an easy fight. There's a lot that could go wrong here, right? Any wrong super in the wrong direction could really screw this over. But it works. It's such a fun fight. I do enjoy it. And of course, you know, get free setup for Trunks there. So all right, with that, we're going to go on to the next one, the Hybrid Saiyans 2. Alrighty, so we are loaded up here with the Hybrid Saiyans Part 2. We are running the same team we ran against the Tamagamis. Again, it's just simply the nature of the way Goten and Trunks build and, you know, the dodge canceling on the... I think dodge canceling on Gohan. Not even Int Gohan can tank a fully built up STR Gohan, even with all of that. So, I mean, the Bottom Master and Disciple team by itself, even without AGL Trunks on its best setups, struggles in this fight. So obviously, with Goten and Trunks, with Trunks included, we're obviously going to have issues here. So we're just gonna do the best we can with this setup. There we go. So Goku and Vegeta should be able to tank for at least 3 turns here in slot 1. So we'll just play around that, and then it's just going to be about managing Trunks's attacks and getting the setup. I did bring Vegeta and Trunks with us here. I don't know how well that's going to play out. We'll see. Ideally, it'll help us, but I don't know. All right, excellent. Okay, so yeah, basically, and the big thing with this fight, and this is the thing that the Bottom Master and Disciple team struggle with, and I talked about this in my showcase, is that, right, it's dealing with turn 3 Goten and Trunks. Like, I think that the team could actually manage, right, between AGL Gohan and STR Goku and Vegeta, they can manage Gohan. The issue with the team is there's not enough actives on the team for dealing with turn 3 Goten and Trunks, and that's kind of where the issue lies here. And obviously the same is going to be true for Trunks, so that's why we have to use him on the Blues team here, which again I've mentioned I do not like him on the Blues team. It just with it's not a cohesive team in terms of the way they want teams to work, right? The Blues team is designed to facilitate big hitters like AGL Gogeta, the LR Super Saiyan 4s, right? Themselves, right? It's designed to facilitate big hitters like that. And none of them are really supporting each other in any major way. At least holistically, like your 2 Super Saiyan 4 partners might be helping each other out, but they aren't helping the Blues out, if that makes sense. Whereas a team like Bottom Master and Disciple is everyone is supporting each other, which makes a big difference, right? So we're gonna put the Blues here. We're gonna keep Trunks on, right? He should be able to tank Gohan's normals here, and then we'll float off Gogeta. Oh, and I was wrong. No, it's not Vegeta and Trunks that I brought. It's the other Super Saiyan 4s. Yeah, no, it's literally the exact same team for Tamagami. Perfect. Yep, so the blue should take this. Yep, double digits. Hopefully we dodge the brats here or we're dead. Thank you. All right. So now we just need to make sure that we can take... yeah, this is actually going to be a little rough. Actually, turn 3. We're just going to have to bank on that Gohan revive then. That's pretty much what we're going to have to do. Bank on that Gohan revive for the next turn. Alrighty. And there we go. Get 50 mil. So yeah, not a great opener for him, but that is kind of to be expected here. He's not linking with anyone, and this is pretty much what you're seeing here is what everybody was just looked at and was like, oh yeah, this is how he performs, right? Sandwiched between two powerful LRs with no links. Obviously, he's not going to look as great as he could on a 170 lead, but I mean, it's still not terrible. It just obviously not as good as he could be. All right, and then we tank. We do tank Gohan. So now we just need to make sure we dodge the brats. AoE there, and we do. Perfect. Yeah, 38 mil. Not a great turn for Gogeta. Alrighty. Okay, so yeah, I think we just have to. I think we just have to bank on the dodge here. Hopefully the 4s can at least get some supers in, and then we just die to the AoE. Maybe Gohan? I don't know. This is a little tough. Alright. Still taking normal as well from Gohan. That's good. Can we live the super? Do. Very nice. Okay, so now all I gotta do is dodge. Perfect. Okay, so actually my plan worked. So, yo, why did that do so much? Oh, because it's post super, that's why. Okay. Alright, well, they do have a second super coming. Remember, they can super twice now. Which means we could potentially... Okay, we could, depending on where this second super lands, we could potentially get the super from the 4s. Oh, wait, it's gonna fall on the 4s. Yeah, so it's gonna kill the 4s. Perfect. Yeah, so at least they'll get their super. So at least we get some damage out of the 4s here, and when we transform them on the next appearance, they'll at least have some good attack and defense. Very nice. One more. Perfect. And then Int Gohan. I don't know. I don't think Int Gohan's an attacker. I'm pretty sure the 4s are going to die here to go to Trunks' super. There we go. Okay, we get another super. Righty. And we do still tank the normals, but yeah, we are dying right here. Oh. No. No. 5 dodge. Unlucky proc. No. All right. Jeez, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh no, we are in trouble. Okay. Okay, but I do think Alright, I do think if we use the active here on the blues, that should take down Goten and Trunks. Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. And so then we can slide him back in slot 1. Go. Alright, and then that with Trunks, because he doesn't need the AGL orbs yet. And then there we go. Trunks. Oof. Of course. Why did I even use the Vegito active? Why did I even use the Vegito active? What was even the point of using the Vegito active? That's now twice in the same fight. Alrighty. Okay, so out comes Trunks, so hopefully we get at least a decent amount of supers here, right? So now we just got to chip away at Gohan, right? So now Gohan, we have the means to deal with his slot 1 super now, provided the blues don't fail us again. We have the means to deal with his slot 1 super, but we don't have, there we go. We shouldn't have a problem for anybody else in his slot 3 or 4, in his slot 3 or 2, because his normals actually don't build up as much as his super does. So it's we should actually be able to deal with it, and it's just because his attack starts so low. Like his attack is only like 300. Okay, so yeah, you can see here we can still tank, turn 4 here in base. Ooh, okay. All right, we get a super. Alrighty, and now we get to pop a bunch of actives here. Hooray! Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is, just like before, we're going to pop the 4s, all of their actives, and then we'll pop the Vegeta and Trunks active, so that way we can buff Trunks on the next turn. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so let's transform the 4s. Alright, bring out Gogeta here. Alright, let's use the Vegeta and Trunks active, so that way we can buff the blues on the next rotation. Look at that, good damage there. Alright, we'll use that active. Not a whole lot, but... Alright, and so we will stick him slot 1 since we are below 50%, so we will get that counter, which is just more damage for us. I'm pretty sure AGL Gogeta can tank it. But, I mean, the counter damage is going to be here. Look at that. Alright, big damage there. Okay, so... And then grab that with Gogeta. And then... Yeah, I guess we'll just take that with them. So, we're going to enter the next turn very low on HP. Could present a problem, but hopefully it doesn't. There we go. We get the counter. Right, and now it's just a matter of chipping away at that attack and defense for Gohan, because he is now incredibly tanky. Yeah, because he's on his own. He has 1.4 billion HP, which is a lot for a double fight like this. Like, that's just so much HP. All right, excellent. And now AGL Gogeta, 99 million. So really good turn for him compared to the last time we used him. Excellent. We got another super here. Okay, so we'll actually do some decent damage here. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time Gogeta's done attacking, we finish with Trunks, which means, well, actually, no, maybe not. They were a little bit higher, maybe. But Okay, but this is good. So this means we will get a turn, at least with Super Saiyan Trunks, which is what we want, right? And surprisingly, we didn't revive here. That's funny. All right, we get another super. Okay, yeah. All right, so we're not killing here. So, all right, we'll be fine on the next turn if the blues don't drop the ball on that dodge again. There we go. Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, worst case scenario, we revive, but I hope that's not what happens. So let's go ahead. Let's grab that. Okay, and then let's transform Trunks. Go. Oh, really? Really? Okay. All right. So we're actually not going to get his orbs here. Well, okay. We could have if we put Gohan first, but whatever. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. So not a great turn for him, right? We're not going to get the guaranteed extra super. Um, but well, let's see what happens. There we go. All right. They don't drop the ball in the dodge this time. Thank goodness. But yeah, between Trunks and I'm pretty sure this rotation we're finishing. Even if Trunks doesn't get all his supers, between him and Gohan, we should do enough to take down Gohan here. Actually, he might do it on his own, even without all his guaranteed supers. Let's see, 25 mils. Yeah, so as expected, right? No revive, no support other than Gohan. No, we only got the one Vegeta's active. So, I mean, to be expected, right? Not again. It's like a night and day difference between him on the 170 versus the 220. Watch us kill with the normal. Oh no, here we go. 29 mil. We do proc a final super here, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the one. Yeah, we got the KO screen once more. All right, twice in this showcase we got the KO screen. I love it. Okay, so round 5 down now for the final round. Like I said, it's just a matter of building a team that helps him out. I don't like this team for him. He does much better on Bottom Master Disciple, but he work. All right, so round 5 down, Pirates down. Definitely one of his tougher fights, but it is manageable on the right setup. So we're gonna pause the video and we're gonna come back in the final round against the Red Zone Broly. Alrighty, so we are loaded up in the final round of this revisit here against the Red Zone Broly. Of course, once again, we are running the Bottom Master Disciple. We're running one of my more favorite variations. Same variation we used for the round 2 against the Gogeta with the Vegeta and Trunks. The like I said, Vegeta and Trunks really do him out like a lot. So there we go. Let's go ahead and grab that. And grab that. Alrighty. All right, we got another. Perfect. So all we have to do is just make sure. So we did get Trunks in slot 7 here, which is not ideal, right? That does kind of really hurt us, but I think we can still make this work. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna skip ahead to when Trunks shows up. Let's do that. Right? We don't need to see the buildup of all of this here. There we go. All right. Yeah, so we just, there we go. Go ahead and skip ahead here. That just helps us out a little bit. All right, so, um, yeah, I don't like him starting slot 7. This is going to be kind of rough. And of course, Vegeta and Trunks are locked in slot 2. That's bad. That's not good. Yeah, so this run I did have to pre-record compared to the last one. I actually recorded this one on my phone long before I recorded the others. Yeah, that is the benefit of this. We can kind of skip around to the parts that there we go. Oh no, Gohan was locked. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, actually, this should be fine. They're good. All right, actually, solid setup, solid setup, solid setup here. So yeah, I mean, the nice thing about pre-recording this is we can kind of skip around to the parts that really matter here. But I mean, the trade-off is sometimes the recordings get messed up. Okay, let's see here. All right, we get. All right, I just want to see what Trunks comes out with here. All right, excellent. All right, 22 million. Nice opener. And again, it just goes back to what I was saying before about you know how he benefits from being on a team like this versus forcing him onto the Blues team where he's on a 170, right? So in total, that's over 100% lower in stats than he would be here, right? And with no support. But here on this team where everybody is working to support him and each other, he looks much better. All right, excellent. One more super for us, Gohan. There we go. So honestly, despite showing up in slot 7, right, we still made it work. Now, the trick is going to be surviving that AoE turn, but if we get it, we're going to be in a solid position here. Nice. Okay, and then also timing the revive. That's going to be the other thing. Timing the revive. That's going to be the hard part. Let's see here. All right. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and actually let's just take the blues. We need them more. All right, we'll grab that. Okay. And we'll take that. Perfect. Alrighty. Are we actually going to kill here with the AGL Gohan? Well, as long as he gets the super, that's all that matters, right? Let him raise that defense. Oh, yeah, he's going to kill with that one super. Would have preferred him to get more, but whatever. There we go. Perfect. All right, and then now into the AoE phase. Now, this is where things are going to get tricky. I'm not sure how well he's going to tank. I think he can. I think he'll be fine. But I'm not sure how well he's going to tank the super, not the super, the AoE here. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky and get the 50% dodge. If we don't, we revive, right? If we don't, we revive. So, all right. Let's grab that. Go. Take that. Perfect. Okay, so we got a nice little setup here. We do need to time the Dokkan attack, right? So we get it during the next phase. So we got to make sure we play this right. There we go, double digits, nice. And now Vegeta and Trunks get their build. Like I said, I do love them for Trunks as a good slot 1 for them. But they, I mean, I guess they don't have to be. It's just kind of the way their rotation is played out. Honestly, I think it would be better to have Int Gohan or AGL Gohan on. Actually, like, if you really wanted to juice him, you want Int Gohan slot 1, Vegeta and STR Blues in slot 3 with the Vegeta active up, and Trunks in slot 2, right? If you really wanted to juice him, having gotten Vegeta and Trunks to get a couple of stacks up and get the 6 orbs with AGL Gohan, right? That would be ideal. But I don't know if we'll be able to set that up. There we go. Very nice. Okay, so 19 million here. Not as good as the last turn, but that's okay. All right, we get an additional super. Excellent. One more. Okay, so we did dodge the AoE, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed. There we go. 22 million. Not bad. Excellent. Alrighty. And okay. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna can I yeah, okay, I'm gonna rotate the blues. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rotate the blues. I think that's the way to go about this. Gohan's gonna die here, and then that'll give us our setup with a transformed Trunks. Yeah, there we go. And then there goes the super. There it is. And there goes the revive.
Your humanity's last hope.
All right. Excellent. Okay, so now the thing we're gonna have to make sure of here is that we get the right orbs here, with Gohan and with AL Trunks here. Oh, what? Where'd it go? Hang on, hang on. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so we had to reset the recording there. Okay, so we got it up, and we are transformed. We got the orbs here. Perfect. Okay, so Vegeta and Trunks should tank this, and then they should take out. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, and then they should take out. This rotation should take out Broly. There we go. We get one. Excellent. We get another. All right, and now hopefully we dodge this AoE. Or we tank it. I'll take that too. Perfect. All right, opening with 30 mil. That's nice. Ooh, that's real nice that we get this. That means next turn we're going to be looking real good. right? Because this is our opening turn. I don't think we've gotten, yeah, and this whole time we haven't gotten a second turn with Trunks, so this is going to be awesome. All right, nice. 36 mil. Excellent. And down goes that phase. All right. So what we're actually going to do here is we're just going to skip ahead to the next phase so we can just play out the final phase with the Trunks here. All right, so we went ahead and skipped ahead to the final turn here. So we've got a fully built up Broly here. We've got our second turn with Trunks. We've used everybody's active. We've got the orbs with AGL Gohan. Like, we've got the best setup we're gonna get for him other than having Int Gohan on rotation here with us. We're gonna pop the Vegeta and Trunks, or the Vegeta and Trunks active. Both Vegeta and Trunks is active here, actually. Right, just so we get that extra damage in. And there we go. All right, and then we're gonna sandwich Trunks right here in between Vegeta and Trunks and the. So we're gonna grab that. We're gonna get his AGL orbs there, and we're gonna get the Dokkan attack here with the Vegeta and Trunks. So there goes the super. So they should tank the super here, right? And we didn't use AGL Kid Gohan's active, by the way. We did not use AGL Kid Gohan's active here, by the way. And honestly, I mean, it kind of sucks because I want to show that he can tank the normals here post super on this team because he can, but it just not how it played out. And I don't want to put Vegeta and Trunks in slot 2 because they will kill, right? Trunks is probably going to kill too, but obviously Vegeta and Trunks absolutely will, especially after a Dokkan attack from these guys. So we're gonna go ahead and grab one. Oh, okay. Well, let's just let it play out. This way we make sure Trunks can deal the bulk of the damage, I guess. All right, let's do another. Okay, perfect. This will be real nice to see how much Trunks actually does here, because I think this is the best setup we've had this whole time for him. All right. Okay, slow it down, guys. Let's give Trunks his space. Alrighty. And here comes our opener with 45 mil. There it is. That's the best we're ever. Well, okay. There is still a way to do more, and I think I want to try it. I want to see if we can do it. But we'll see. 47 mil, nice. Oh, we're gonna break the 50. We're breaking the 50 again, aren't we? Do it. Let's break the 50. There we go. Oh, man. 52. There we go. Oh, man. I wish this would have been the killer. Well, actually, if we get a crit, maybe we will. Oh, not quite. Oh, we get another for 54. There we go. All right. And we get the KO screen for a third time this time. All right, there you have it. So there is the Revisation Grand Tour of the AGL Trunks on a proper team. I told you guys I would do this. I told you all y'all needed to do. Patient. People like to jump the gun. People like to go with their knee-jerk reactions to bad showcases. And we even showed that pre-release of Gohan Trunks that it wasn't that bad, but people weren't ready to accept that. I'm hoping more people are willing to come around now that they've seen this. If they're willing to watch this, I know most people won't. Half the people I argued with, trying to explain like what Trunks is actually doing, never even. But here, you can show them this showcase if you're watching that show, just how good he can actually be. At no point were we ever in any real danger. And in the stages where we were able to build a team that can manage those problems. And that's really what this is about, right? Putting them on a team that works, and that's half the fun in it. So, all right, we're going to call it there. Guys, if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, how are you feeling about Trunks now that we've revisited him on the Bottom Master Disciple team? Is he looking much better than what you thought? Has anybody here actually changed their mind? Or are we still running on the bad 170 showcases, putting him in the worst possible situations and pretending like that's normal play? I'm sure most people will. But if you were watching this and were willing to change your mind, let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.